Attention ministry leaders. Have you ever considered growing your ministry with television? Well, the Daily Gospel Network could be what you've been looking for. As one of the nation's largest Christian broadcasting companies, the Daily Gospel Network broadcasts all over the world on popular streaming platforms like Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. If you're looking to grow and reach more people, the Daily Gospel Network could be your solution.
Looking for inspiration, motivation, and the good news of Jesus Christ? Look no further. The Daily Gospel Network has what you need. With more than 300 ministries from all over the country broadcasting every week, you're sure to get your dose of spirit-filled encouragement from the great programs on the Daily Gospel Network. Catch the Daily Gospel Network on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all mobile devices, and the internet.
Get ready for Purpose Today with Dr. April Dobson. Ignite your spirit and fuel your passion for life with inspiring stories, empowering guests, and transformative ideas. Whether you're pursuing dreams, overcoming challenges, or seeking a spark of positivity, you're in the right place. Together, we'll explore resilience, creativity, and our limitless potential. So sit back and prepare to be inspired. Let's unlock incredible possibilities on Purpose Today with Dr. April Dobson.
Welcome to Purpose Today. I'm your host, Dr. April Dobson. I'm very excited to have our very special guest today, Jackie Brown. She's the founder of Shifting Success. Stay tuned for our special guest, Jackie Brown.
Looking for inspiration, motivation, and the good news of Jesus Christ? Look no further. The Daily Gospel Network has what you need. With more than 300 ministries from all over the country broadcasting every week, you're sure to get your dose of spirit-filled encouragement from the great programs on the Daily Gospel Network. Catch the Daily Gospel Network on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all mobile devices, and the internet.
Welcome back to Purpose Today. I am very excited to have our very special guest on the show, Jackie Brown. Again, she's the founder of Shifting Success. Welcome, Jackie.
Well, thank you, April. It's so nice to be here. I appreciate you having me on Purpose Today.
You're very welcome, and we're very excited to have you on the show today. And thank you to all of our guests who are tuning in. So Jackie, again, we're very excited to have you here today. And I know that we have quite a few people in our audience who are tuning in this morning, and they're probably, wondering about you. So can you share a little bit about yourself with our viewers?
Great. Thank you. So I am living here in the South. I'm right on the border of Tennessee and Alabama. I'm a kindly curious, artistic, a little bit competitive when it comes to playing golf with my husband, and really enjoy interacting with people and serving my clients. I have been doing that for 30 years as a creative director. And then a few years ago, I really had some really powerful moments that had me asking questions about purpose and meaning and what impact I was really having. So as a result of that, I shifted away from creative direction into career coaching. It's been a fantastic journey, one with certainly lots of ups and downs, but I'm so thrilled to be doing the work that I am now.
That is awesome. And thank you so much, Jackie, for, sharing information about you, about your family, and touching a little bit on, your journey professionally. And I know you did, mention a little bit that you had that pivot professionally. And I know you had an interesting journey that, really led you on that path. So can you share some additional insight with our viewers regarding your experience and why you decided to pivot?
Yes, absolutely. It really started with feeling that I was not enjoying my work anymore. And I was really disappointed and disenchanted by that because I had loved the 30 years of being in the creative industry, advertising and marketing. I felt like I was one of the cool kids when I would say that I was a creative. I got to dress a little funky and, kind of gave me license to do some things outside of the norm, and certainly had me in some really fun and interesting moments along my career, from working on Music Row when I lived in Nashville, to working on big accounts throughout the rest of my career. But then a few years ago, things just started to feel really off. It was certainly during the pandemic. I think that really was a trigger for a lot of us to question what was happening and what we were doing. And that was the case for me. It also came at a time when my business was not doing well. I had just been selected as a speaker for a national conference in the industry I was working in. And then the very next, or the day before I was going to fly out, was the day that the world shut down. So that conference was going to be my leapfrog into boosting my business. And then when that didn't happen, and I realized that I didn't even really like the work I was doing anyway, then I started asking even more questions. If I didn't like doing this work, then what did I like doing? And what kind of impact did I want to be having? Did I want to be working in advertising and marketing that often felt like the purpose behind it wasn't necessarily for the benefit of people, it was for the benefit of the companies.
Wow. So I know that you did this exploration, you thought about, what do I like doing? What would I enjoy doing? And you had that epiphany that you really just didn't enjoy what you were doing. Did you find that when you made a decision to make that change, that it was a hard change to make, or did you find it was easy because you didn't enjoy what you were doing?
There were certainly some ups and downs in terms of how hard and easy it was. It has been a journey to transition the business side of it, certainly. But once I realized what I wanted to be working in and the types of work I wanted to be doing, that part has felt really easy. And that's what I encourage my clients to be looking for, is the work that comes so naturally to us that we often overlook it. But for me, I had several people who helped point the way for things that I took for granted. And then certainly some assessments helped, my own coaching journey, using coaches and counselors. So it's definitely been a journey that has been very deep and exhausting at times. But once I found the work that I wanted to be doing, that part has felt so easy. It feels like everything else just really supports that. And now that I feel like I'm living and working in a purpose, that the work that I have to do to maintain that just feels much more natural, and there's more drive to be doing the hard things.
So in essence, no one's having to really pry you out of the bed in the morning or motivate you to get up and do what it is that you're doing because you love it.
Absolutely.
So how did you land on career coaching?
Sure. It really started with looking at coaching in general. I found that while I didn't really enjoy the design work I was doing anymore, that was most of my day. What I did enjoy doing were the conversations that I was having with my clients. They would come back and we would do advertising campaigns, and then they would present them to their executives. And they would come back saying that they felt a lot more confident after we had talked and I coached them through how to present or what the campaign was all about, or just in general, their professional development type of coaching. That was really where my energy and my purpose felt really elevated. So once I decided the coaching was going to be something to explore, and then how much I really did enjoy it through all my trainings and certifications, then looking at mid-career coaching specifically has been something that has naturally and organically just started to form. As people came to me for coaching, they really seemed to latch on to my own story of pivoting a career. And so they are very interested in my own experience and then all the research and the studies that I did during that time and then still continue to do, paired with the creativity that I was using in my design time is now applied to being creative and innovative with my clients. So it's really been some very intentional decisions. And then I've also just really paid attention to what's happening organically and certainly what needs there are out there in the marketplace.
That's awesome. And, I think most of our viewers at this point know that that's really the premise of this show, is really to help people to be inspired, to discover and pursue their purpose and do what they love, while they're pursuing their purpose and pursuing what they're passionate about. So I know you've mentioned it in your journey of, exploring and discovering what your purpose to do. And you mentioned it, earlier about, just the importance of aligning, with our purpose. So for you, why do you believe it's so important for people to pursue purpose and passion?
I think you highlighted it yourself when you talked about it's the thing that gets me out of the bed in the morning, right? So I think when people really have and feel like that they are grounded in purpose, that motivation really seems to just happen organically. When we have a reason for doing something, that's basically purpose, then that helps us move through some of the more challenging times. And then it also helps to keep a larger perspective, again, when we might come up against some bumps in the road, and then certainly helps us to think about our impact in a larger context. So,
Right.
so certainly purpose is a great motivator. And then passions are really interesting for me. I will often talk to my clients about what they are passionate about, but I tend to see that following their curiosities tends to have a longer lifespan, so to speak. For instance, if we follow our passions as a way to make money or go into a career, workplace type of situation, a lot of times those passions can burn really hot and then fade. So curiosity instead seems to be a longer term motivator, if we want to call it that people tend to be more curious about a topic or a skill or an industry. And then that can lead into more long-term success, however we define success. But a lot of times, like if you are very passionate about photography, then taking that into the workplace situation where you're now required to make money from it, that can often burn people out of the passionate part of a hobby, for instance. So it's a really, it's a nuanced difference between passions and curiosities, but it is certainly something that I encourage people to take a look at. Would they rather go into something that they're curious about and might have a long-term impact, or is their passion something that they feel like could be a long-term impact, and do they want to tie money or revenue along with that?
I think that's a really good point, Jackie. And I think one of the things that we are trained out of doing from childhood is pursuing what we desire and what we have, an interest in, right? There are a lot of things that kids innately do that they enjoy. And, parents at a certain point encourage their kids to do what they enjoy. And then they get to a certain age that they start discouraging them from doing what they enjoy. And I think when we